YouTube. It's Andrew from Money Mental UK here, the channel dedicated to money and mental health. And here I am for another exciting episode of Seller Lads. The lads are busy sorting themselves out, ready to get on the channel. In the meantime, we've got Derek and Ads that turned up on time.
Just about on time.
Do you want to introduce yourselves? We'll start off with Derek.
Yeah, my name's Derek. I'm a full-time reseller in the UK. I'm known as Tap Peddler on YouTube.
Excellent. And
Shall I go? Ads Robinson, full-time UK reseller. On YouTube as Ads Robinson, obviously. Sell mainly antiques and collectibles, but also do a few toys and other stuff.
Excellent. And I've just seen Peter has joined us as well.
Hello, yep. My name's Peter Ray from Peter Ray's Adventures. Part-time eBay reseller, all-round legend. I have a channel that I say Peter Ray's Adventures. Do go and subscribe, haul videos, carpet hauls, chat shop hauls, outside blogs, all sorts. So do go and check it out.
Excellent. Thank you, Peter. And obviously, I'm on my own channel, so I'm hoping everyone knows who I am. Otherwise, we've got a problem. So today's subject is one that Ian, the tap doctor, who isn't here yet, actually. So I'll just send him a text. Came up with. He was texting me the other day, and he said a topic he'd be interested in seeing on the Seller Lads is, if you were new to reselling and you had £250 to spend, what would you spend it on?
Ooh.
So that's today's topic of choice. I think we'll probably find we get a few different answers. So we'll start off with, who should we go for first? Do you still want time to think, Derek?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I can't think of anything at the moment.
I'm okay if you want me to go.
Yeah, go on then. Okay, cheers, Ads.
I would have said that at the moment, where my business is, the best thing for me to invest in would be toys and games. So I would probably split it maybe a little bit on RA, but not most of it on RA. So probably about £100 on RA or so, which wouldn't get me a lot, but it'd get me something. And then maybe 150 quid going down the car boots, solely focus on toys and games for good margins, getting things for £1 or £2, flipping them into hopefully about 15, 20 quid, 30 quid, and just do it that way, basically. And I think that would be a good, efficient use of the money. Possibly even just not do any RA on toys and games and just do it all down the car boot. Just spend it all down the car boot for 250. But yeah, that seems the best at the moment where I'm at. Seems like that'd be the most efficient use.
Okay. Peter.
250. Oh. I say if I was starting out, then I would work out what I'm into. Like obviously me into gaming sort of stuff, like computer games and that sort of thing. And then I'll probably check like Facebook Marketplace, Spot, Gumtree, that sort of thing, or even go around the car boots and that, checking about gaming bundles. Yeah, pretty much just buying bundles of games, and then once I had enough like games, even if I didn't spend the 250, we'll probably reinvest, and because obviously, as we know, a lot of games, computer games, i.e. PlayStation 1s, 1064, that sort of thing, are worth quite a good amount of money, and then you can reinvest. Obviously, we're sort of learning as we go along, and then you could reinvest into other areas like clothing, electronics, game, toys, etc., etc. Or I could just spend £250 on lottery tickets and see where it gets me, but entirely up to myself, really. But yeah, games and that sort of thing.
Okay. Derek, it's your time in the spotlight.
I would probably second it, really, toys and games, mainly because electricals is what I deal with myself. But if you're new to reselling, you could end up with a load of problems buying electrics because they often don't work or they need testing. You need some sort of knowledge on how to fix them and also how to package them up so they sell well. You know, you might need SCART leads and figure of 8 leads and all of that sort of thing to get them going. So yeah, I'd keep 2 things that you can buy cheap, and they're quite plentiful at the car boots, which is games, toys, kids' toys, that sort of thing, and try and make some sort of bundles. You know, I don't know, like Peppa Pig bundles and Fireman Sam bundles, that sort of thing. I think. If I was new,
I hear Ben 10 and wrestling figures is the way to go. I'm not sure which YouTuber is famous for that, but I think there is one.
I did think about saying auctions, but I think if you're new, then you could end up buying a load of rubbish from the auctions. So that's coming from me sort of now, you know. But if I was brand new to reselling, I think car boots is the best place to get your stock.
Awesome. I would probably, if it was me, I would buy 250 quid's worth of vintage porn. I knew I was going to look at that for that. I'm only joking. I'm not being serious. No, for me, right, there's a few aspects to it. I wouldn't spend the full 250 on stock. I would invest it in stuff that can help support my business as well. There'd be two key areas that I'd concentrate on. Would be media and clothing, which may surprise everyone who knows me. But they're 2 things that are dead easy to source. Charity shops, car boots, etc. I follow them. But I would invest in some lighting and maybe a mannequin, maybe not, but something to make my pictures look good. I would invest in some decent postal supplies as well, because I think everyone forgets about that. So if I'm doing media, I want, you know, say 100 Jiffy bags ready to go, and with the clothes, I want 100 poly bags ready to go as well. So I've got my stuff ready. Hey David, how are you? Just joined us. So you know, that might be, you know, 20-30 quid gone. The lights might be, you know, I probably wouldn't get the inexpensive setup to start off with, but I'd get something that'll do the job, 30-40 quid. So what, that's 60-70 gone. I'd probably keep a bit back to cover me for returns, so maybe 30-40 quid. And then I'd spend the rest on stock. So I'd be getting clothes, but I would take time as well to research my local charity shops, work out which ones are good. You know, there's some charity shops around me that'll charge a tenner for something that's £1 in another one. I'd be looking to make my money stretch as far as possible, so I'd be focusing on those lower price charity shops to start off with. I'd buy a few different things. Oh, Matt's joined us. I'll just bring in Matt.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, Matt, where's your hair gone?
I know, yeah. Fell out with me.
Good Lord. Sorry, that distracted me. So I would spend, you know, maybe 30 or 40 quid buying up some clothes, get those photographed, get those listed. Clothes slightly slower sell through rate than media. So at the same time, also, I'd buy some big piles of media, and again, I'd buy it cheap. You can get stuff for 10 pence, £1. You don't need to spend any more than that. And I'd fill up my store, get as much stuff listed as possible, as quickly as possible. I'd be less concerned about profit and making money initially, as long as I've covered my initial investment, because then I've built up knowledge and I've learned whilst I'm doing that, and I've seen what sells, and then I'll invest the money better the next time in what sells. So that would be my sort of approach and method. Welcome, Matt. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name's Matt. I'm a part-time reseller and toy collector.
And today's topic, Matt, we're talking about if you were new to reselling and you had 250 quid to invest, what would you invest it in? Toys and games seems to be a popular one amongst my colleagues. I've gone for my niches of clothing and media. Just,
Yeah, I think
niche, of course.
I think toys are quite easy to sell. They're quite, you can come across them all the time. You haven't got to put a lot of money into it. I noticed when I first started doing it, I was just after the toys for myself and trying to resell and buy other toys, things like that. But I also found out that like plushies and that was really easy to pick up, move along, as long as it's like Disney or Build-A-Bear, things like that. It's quite easy. Or media, DVD box sets, games, if you can get hold of them, things like that. Really low risk and not too high profit, but just to get you started, something nice and easy.
I think building up a good store, lots of listings and good feedback is key at the start. Learning the process. The other issue is as well, I mean, you could spend 250 quid on electronics, as Derek says, but if you get a return on something you've just sold and you've sold it for 100 odd quid, that could wipe you out straight away. So
at
least with the lower value stuff, yeah, you might get a couple of returns and you learn that element of the process, but you're only losing a few quid here and there as well. And that's actually part of my listing strategy as well. When I have plenty of money, I'll list high-end, high-value stuff. When I'm short on cash, I'll list media, buy the hundreds and sell that instead to raise the funds. So, but some different areas there. Ian, hopefully it's given you a few pieces to think about. Tommy asked, got a question there for you, Ads. I've brought it on screen. Is Ads in a different part of his castle?
No, this is just because I've not got the green screen up, so it looks like it's different, but it's not. It's just the same. It's the same room, but it's amazing how different it can look just with the addition of a green screen.
And David M has just said, I just bought a pallet yesterday of toys for £171, including VAT, which was £28, with 65 toys near clearance. They'll all be sold on eBay and they'll sell before 7 to 8. So just bringing in that point about toys, especially if you think about timing at the minute. I mean, we are 2-3 weeks off Q4 now, so we know toys and games are going to start doing well. Christmas jumpers as well, probably, to be fair.
Hope so, because I've still got some left over from last year.
The monocle says, I would just get stuck in, take the punt and trust your own instinct. Just don't just follow the crowd and use your own knowledge and research, but spend it on stock and not fancy equipment. And yeah, I agree with that. I think you need to have the right stuff, but you don't necessarily have to have the most expensive, super duper stuff to start off with when you're learning the ropes. You can gradually build and invest in that kind of thing as your business grows. I didn't have any professional lights for about a year, so in fact I still haven't set up the ones I've got properly.
Yeah, when I first started, I just had 2 bits of wood and placed them so I had a backdrop, and that was it, basically on the windowsill, and got the natural light in. That was good enough for me starting. So
yeah, you can do it basically. Take your pictures on there as long as you've got a smartphone. I would say if you've got a smartphone and a laptop, you're pretty much there, because that's all I use on a day-to-day basis. Looks like Zia's joined us as well, George. Too many people in the chat for me to keep up with now. Amy's there. Hi, Amy. So yeah, we've got a few people around. Martin's here, South London reseller. So yeah, that was the first question that subscriber question that came up, which we built the topic round. But obviously, we've done that in 15 minutes. So another question that I'm seeing is coming up a lot. Has been around how to make a success out of your eBay, and I think that's a bit of an arbitrary term, which is subjective. For me, what I measure as successful will be completely different to somebody who's working full time at it. But I actually did a video on this subject earlier today, so there's a handy bit of self promotion. And it links into what I was talking about before, about the fact that for me, slightly different if you're selling high-end stuff. So the kind of stuff George sells, for example, is quite rare items that are not readily available, and so there's a lot less competition. But if you're a generalist reseller, starting off, wanting to make a success of yourself, and you're picking up the sort of things we talk about, toys, games, clothes, etc., I think the key for me is to have a large amount of stock that you can list and get through quickly, so that you can expand that store at a rate of knots, get 20 to 40 listings on a day, every day for a month, and you'll soon find that the money starts coming in. But you guys may feel different. Derek, we'll start with you, Derek.
Yeah, well, I've actually noticed the key to getting regular sales recently, because for the last maybe 3 months I've been making sure I have at least 10 items going live on eBay every day. On the weekends I don't actually do any sort of physical listings, but what I do, I schedule them so they go live on a Saturday and Sunday, and I spread them out between sort of 30-minute intervals as well. So yeah, I truly believe that listing consistently is definitely the key to building it, and with that you'll get lots of good items on your store, and with that you'll get the sales, and you just got to keep on feeding it. So I think that's the main key to growing your eBay store. Of course, you've got to keep on top of all the other things that go with it. You've got to post things on time, package things correctly so they don't get broken, deal with any returns that come in quick. Just to make sure you keep that top rated seller status as well, which is really important. And also coming up to the new seller protection that's going to be introduced as well. I think top rated seller is going to be really important. So yeah, just keep on listing things is the key, I think, and dealing with problems or dealing with anything as quickly as you can.
Absolutely. I think
it's so easy to get stuck in a rut if you're not careful. I think you've got to keep on. If you get a big return, deal with it and move on, and just get on again.
Yeah, I mean, I was a bit disheartened today myself, because I had I had to put 3 unpaid item cases on, 2 returns come through this morning, and that was before I'd sold anything. I was just like, it would have been so easy if we just say, right, stuff it. Yeah. I'm not putting anything on eBay today. It's annoyed me. That's it.
Yeah, it can quite easily just ruin your whole day if you're not careful.
Yeah. But instead I thought, no, I'm going to do something I don't enjoy doing, and I listed some clothing. So I used it just to motivate me to do something, and then just because I've been listing, sales have picked up this afternoon, evening. So even with those returns, I'm back in profit regardless. So do you schedule your listings as well? Because what I quite often do is take a lot of pictures at the weekend and do a lot of drafts, and then just drop them in during the course of the week to keep the activity up.
I generally list every day because I'm full time. I'm sort of here all the time anyway, so I'll always list every day. And what I do, I end items when they come up to the 30-day sort of cycle before they get relisted by eBay. I end them manually, and I relist them or sell similar. tweak them maybe. But what I also do is any ones that are pretty rubbish stock, really, I will schedule that for the following weekend, so I at least have 10 items going live.
Yeah.
Even if they're rubbish items, at least they're not urgent. I don't need them to go live straight away, but and it's something that goes live on the weekend. So I do use scheduling mainly for that, but otherwise I just put them live straight away.
Cool. There was something that occurred to me then. I've completely forgotten it. Based on what you were saying, it's gone from my head. Ads, how about you? What do you find to be the key to achieving success on eBay?
Regular listing, as Derek said. At the moment, it seems apparent that promoted, for the most part, is needed, in my opinion. I mean, there are people who say that they don't need it, but from my experience, it seems that it's almost directly needed now, which is annoying. Having desirable items as well, having good items. It's debatable whether good titles and good photographs actually mean all that much these days, because there are people still selling things without brilliant photos. But I always preach the fact that, good photos and good titles are, a good thing for you on eBay. And hopefully you'll get that with my sales updates and stuff. Other than that, maybe doing things like multi-buy and adding a sale every now and then and stuff like that. Just generally keeping up with your store, maybe even just generally being active on your store daily. So even if you're not listing new items, maybe you're answering messages, maybe you're answering offers or something, but just generally all that stuff all together. And when you actually use it all together, it will actually create something good for you.
Excellent, thank you, Matt. What do you find has been the key to success?
Just going to repeat what was being said before. Listing a lot more regular. I think getting the title right, but also you commented in something that I put on one of the Facebook groups. Is I try to take really good photos if I can. Especially with the Lego that I've listed on there. It does take time to assemble and things like that, but I think, the old saying, don't judge a book by its cover, but it's the cover that attracts the eye. So I think the better your photos they are, that's a good start.
Yeah, that I saw that picture you put. It was in the Money Mental Reselling group on Facebook. If anyone wants to come over and join us there, it's something I don't even drop a link to, but you can find it by searching Money Mental Reselling on the Facebook, and it should come up. That photo popped. It was really impressive. You could see the effort that got into that, and you got the price it deserved as a result.
Yeah,
I call that the Ben Fitzpatrick approach to Lego, because he always spent time and he assembling his Lego.
Yeah. I've sold a couple of them now, and I think just by doing the photos, I think got me the sale. But also as well, send offers. With the choice that you've got now to send offers, I've sent quite a lot of offers now, and it's been a bit weird. I've sent lower offers in and still got the full price for it. I don't know how that works, but it's been happening to me.
I've got a theory about that. It's only a theory, but my theory is, in the same way that when you have an offer come in on something, I think certainly the eBay search engine gives it a boost. Because if you think about it, if that item sells for full price, eBay get more fees.
Yeah.
And I think the way they've implemented offer to watchers is pretty much the same way as if you had an offer on it yourself in terms of their back end. So I think it treats it as it thinks there's an offer on that item, and it pushes it up the search ranking to try and get a better price.
Maybe, yeah.
So I'm always in two minds about whether to accept offers that come in straight away as well for that reason, or whether to leave it a bit for other people to come in and make an offer. Because I have found that if I leave stuff for an hour or so, sometimes somebody else, as you say, will come in and buy it. But by the same token, I've also done that and then had a message to say the offer's been retracted. So I've missed out on a sale. So it's, swings and roundabouts, really.
Yeah.
Peter, you've got the difficult task of coming last on this question after everyone else has given
And
their
there's
answer.
not much really to be said other than constant listing. I'm part-time, so all my spare time gets taken up pretty much with listing. I usually list in evenings. Always have to sort of just put my phone to one side and then just try and get listing done. Because I've got a basic shop, I don't get a chance to schedule because it costs. So I just do drafts, get a load of drafts done, probably 10, 15 throughout the week. Just put pictures, because I put the pictures through my mobile and then just put them on and send them out at different times. I'll probably send them out more early evening, when people are home from work. And yeah, it's just getting that constant listing done, and it's kind of like checking out all your items, what's being said on a 30-day before the eBays relisted your items, and then just manually go and end them, and then just go in and check all the titles, descriptions, all the bits and pieces, because obviously now you can see how many people are searching on the different bits and pieces, like what sort of things you're putting in. So it's pretty easy to do. And then obviously, once you've done that, it normally shouldn't take too long before the item sells. I know there's a lot of competition on eBay these days, but you've just got to get it basically spot on, and then keep doing it, going and doing it. And then obviously, the more you make, the more you can reinvest.
I always say, if you're top of the best match with your listing, it doesn't really matter too much.
Make sure you put a lot in the title as well.
George has joined us. Hi, George. Sorry, I just went on the chat to get the link to your skydive, and so you sent the message. So apologies, George. It was below.
Oh, no, you're just ignoring me. No. Oh. Right, everyone. How are we?
Not bad.
All
I
right.
spy my eye, George. Something with A behind.
Oh, funny you should mention this, Peter. I'll
yeah.
get into that in a bit. That might do with something I'm planning. I'll do that later on.
Oh, that's fine, mate. That's fine.
Yeah.
So shall we introduce George and his skydive challenge first before we go on to the chance to answer the topic?
1 second while I just get the links. So yeah, hi everyone. Sorry I'm late. Had the in-laws round. They're gone now. So yeah, I said back at 2,500 subs, I'd do something for charity. That happened to be jumping out of a plane at 15,000 feet, and Amy's now booked it 28th of this month, which is 2.5 weeks, raising money for, if I can put it in the chat, I need to work out how to do that. Great Ormond Street and Mind UK. Set the target at 250 each. We've already smashed that with Great Ormond Street, but I am asking for donations for Mind. They're lagging behind a bit. And once I figure out how to do this, I'll put the links in the chat. And I think Andrew said he'll do it in the description. It'll be much appreciated. And before the 2 weeks comes, I have a raffle, which includes these. And either an auction or a quiz. I'm not sure yet. Whatever raises most money. So if you can do that, that would be greatly appreciated.
Excellent. Thank you, George. We look forward to hearing of your imminent death.
Thank you.
I was saying if I could drop a link into the chat, but Facebook is being ridiculously slow at the minute.
Right, here we go. 3, 2, 1, bosh. Let's see if that worked. Did that work?
Yeah.
There we go. 2 links there. You can choose which one. Great Ormond Street or Mind. Either one, big or little. If you're rich, chuck us loads. It doesn't matter how much.
I'm going to
appreciate any amount. It'd be, yeah.
Oh, this has come up again every time it gets mentioned.
Yeah, that's what
Actually, there is. I have to stay below 13 stone. Otherwise, you get an additional charge or something. I'm 12.5 at the minute. And I'm actually eating cake. I'm eating birthday cake. It's no one's birthday.
I am above 13 stone, and I'm also too tall. Sadly, they've got a height limit.
Is there?
Yeah, I carefully researched this for reasons why I couldn't do it.
Is
6
that
foot,
actually the truth, though?
of course. Yeah, if you're over 6 foot tall, you've got no chance, basically. So, sadly, I can't fulfill other people's dreams of seeing me jump out of an aeroplane as well.
Always other ways. If you to jump somewhere.
That I'm not jumping off anything because of my disability as well. I've got a phobia about dying. But yeah, no, so I was absolutely devastated when I found out I couldn't do it. It was one of the worst moments of my life.
Especially jumping around the room.
So yeah, George, we had 2 subjects of conversation that had come up via subscriber request. The first one was, if you were new to reselling and had 250 quid to invest, what would you invest it in? So I guess it kind of ties into the video you did earlier about if you had a limited amount of money, what would you buy? But
Funny you should mention this. I need to edit. If you did have sort of nothing to put in, if you cleared the loft or shed, whatever, went to a boot sale, but I'm doing it on 100 quid. So say you have saved 250, I'd recommend, well, if you've already got a phone, you're sort of ready to go, and a printer. Don't know. I wouldn't splash it all in one go. Maybe start with 100 over a boot sale weekend. Learn the ropes with them. Like, don't chuck it all at like a £250 item, because you'll get a bit stuck if there's problems or if it's faulty or whatever. Yeah, you just want to start growing your store. So £1 items, £2 items into 20, 15s. They all help. It also help you learn about the postage options out there, because there's loads. And start learning a niche, I'd say. Like, I've been picking up lots of footwear, and I'm a vintage items. Yeah, sort of slowly but gradually, I think, is my advice on that one.
excellent. I've got a few more people joined us. Louise from KFC Reselling, or whatever it's supposed to be known as now, has joined. Stu made an absolutely valid point about your skydive. He says don't need to worry about the weight, because you'll crack yourself just prior to jumping anyway.
Yeah. I did go to an exercise class tonight, every Thursday, so...
Do you have to wear a special suit, though? Because if you crap yourself, will it stay inside the suit?
At least it'll be warm if it's cold coming down, though.
True.
Yeah, there is a website, and there is an option for another skydiving guy to jump out, and he films it, like his point of view to you. Because people keep asking me if I'm going to film, and I'm going to try and film. But then there is another guy who films me, but I don't know yet. I'll work it out.
You're going to have like a head cam or something?
Yeah, I've got my head cam when I'm picking orders, or I've got like something on my wrist. But yeah, I haven't worked that one out yet.
Cool. Louise says she can't stay long. She's just about to get the campfire on. I've got visions now of being like that Top Gear caravan episode. It's going to set fire to the entire campsite. Chris will be there that's her boyfriend, will be trying to put the fire out with his bare hands. Carnage will ensue.
You did the next thing, Andrew. You set fire to your cooking, your dinner.
That has not happened yet. I am, as we know,
I've vision of it happening.
There was a question that came up. I just want to see if I can find it. It was here we go. This is a question from Marina.
You tired, Dad?
Yeah.
I saw that yawn.
Are there any countries that you wouldn't sell to? Was a question. For me, I'd avoid Brazil and Russia because their postal systems are crap. How about
I
you,
sell to
Derek?
anyone,
Any
but
countries? Oh,
I get
sorry,
a bit
Joe.
nervous with Russia. Russians, they seem to always go missing or something in Russia. But if it's through GSB, whatever it's called, I just sell to anyone really.
Derek, how about you?
Yeah, I use GSP for everything. So if it's okay for GSP, it's okay for me. So yeah, I post it to anywhere.
Ads?
What was that?
Any countries you won't sell to ads?
Any countries?
Yeah.
Oh, I just use the GSP. I don't do my own international shipping or anything. So,
Shafting.
you know, if it's on the GSP, I'll send it, but otherwise I won't.
Fair enough. Matt, Peter, do you do your own shipping or just GSP?
GSP.
GSP,
Did have an issue with. It's the first time I sent something to the Republic of Ireland the other day. It was through a Facebook group. It was some figures, some collectible figures. The figures, they were only about 16 quid. There was just some cheap ones, but the postage cost me 16 quid to send as well, which was obviously covered by the buyer, where he wanted to use DPD, and there was 16 quid to send to Republic of Ireland.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
Do you take PayPal on those payments, or do you do like bank transfer or something?
No, PayPal.
PayPal. Yeah, because when I sell things on Facebook, I prefer to take it by bank transfer.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that offer they want friends and family and things like that, and you're just not covered. So
Yeah, it always worries me. But
services and send it that way. But 16 quid, I can't believe it. First time I've sent anything to Republic of Ireland.
yeah, it's expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do my own international shipping, but I do have Russia and Brazil at the minute. I know people have said they never had a problem with Russia, but I've sent a few items there that just haven't arrived. So I'd just rather avoid it.
Have you had quite a lot of problems with that though, with you sending it yourself international?
How do you mean? Sorry.
Have you had a few problems with that? Rather than using the GSP? No,
not really. I mean, if something's not received, I've got a proof of postage. I'll put a claim in the Royal Mail anyway. So, from my perspective, I'm covered regardless. But the only time outside of Russia I've had an item not received case was Spain, and I genuinely think he got it. I think that with Russia, I don't think they got it because I had a couple of them come back to me. So I know it never got delivered, but I think he got it. He was just trying it on, but I had the proof of postage anyway, so I was covered from that perspective.
Yeah.
Also, South Africa's another dodgy one. Even the post office woman round the corner to me, she said it'll probably guarantee not get there. This was when I first started, and it didn't get there, and I had to file a claim and all that. So I don't know if anyone else has sent to South Africa, but I've had 100% loss rate. 2 of 2, I think it was.
Might add South Africa to my excluded list then.
Yeah.
I mean, there's enough countries in the world and enough buyers for it. It doesn't affect me. Right. So secret to success in selling on eBay. Because you're slightly different in business model to some of the rest of us, in that you're higher quality, higher value items in a sort of smaller store, George.
Yeah, I tried to be anyway. I've been selling quite a few of the lower end items this week, sort of clearing. I try and aim for that average sale price of £50. Because obviously I've got to juggle like the kids and that. So I focus on few listings but higher like sales. Obviously it doesn't work for everyone.
And are there any tips that you would give to people new to selling on eBay?
Yeah, a bolo.
Not. Where have you got that from?
This one I've got 8 coming.
Is that
Ready
for
for
your
the? I've got a chat for the charity again. I'll mention it again. I am doing a raffle. Bolo. No, what is it? Bolo or no? There's going to be 10 prizes. 8 no-nos. Obviously, the ashes worthless. I think this was like £1.20 each delivered. And I'm going to get 2 bolos. And obviously, pull out the numbers. You get a secret package. They get sent off. 2 people get something nice. And the other lucky 8 people get these. That's the prize with them.
If I get one, I'm doing a live unboxing on YouTube.
I think I'm going to announce this properly tomorrow. So keep an eye on my channel. I'll go live again and announce all the details. But as for tips for new resellers, I always say to start selling your own things. I think I mentioned it before about learning the postage systems, all the different prices and services. So once you've got that sort of knuckled down, you can start offering like the bigger, heavier things if you really want. Because like even my sister's boyfriend sold a drone and it was like 6 kilograms and he was just going to go to the post office and they wanted like 18 quid or whatever it was. And he didn't have a clue about like parcel to go or anything.
Yeah.
So start with your postage. Start from home.
So when I was new to reselling, that was the 2 big things that shocked me was postage and fees at the start. I didn't really work those out properly. I didn't lose any money. I just didn't make as much money as I was expecting on stuff.
Yeah.
But you learn it. You learn the hard way sometimes. I've just seen if there's any questions in the chat. Lucy M has asked best sale of the week for everyone. I think we had this conversation earlier in the Facebook group. But Derek, if you want to go first.
Yeah, my one's a bundle of five EMI reel-to-reel tapes. I bought them at an auction. I bought a Sony reel-to-reel player and 2 massive crates of tapes. So I split. I've sold the reel-to-reel player. I've already sold that. And I've still got most of the tapes. And I basically bundle any similar branding or the same tape together. This one was a lot of 5 of them, and I got £50 plus post, which is pretty good because the whole thing was about £40 to buy, and I sold the reel-to-reel player for about 80, I think. So yeah, that was my best sale of the week. It's been quite a slow week for me though this week really, but yeah, that was a decent sale.
I've just had a look, and mine was some retail arbitrage. So I don't want to share that because I've still got some of them. But my best non-RA sale wasn't the best in terms of value. It was some horrible history books, a box set that I paid a tenner for at the car boot last over a year ago. They've been listed for over a year. Hadn't sold at all, and they weighed over 2 kilos, so it's going to cost me a fortune to sell. They finally sold for $19.99, free shipping on last week. And when I checked the address of the buyer, lived 2 streets away. So I sent a message and said, look, if you're prepared to do a declaration to say you've received this and leave feedback on eBay straight away, I can deliver it to you by hand and you have it tonight. So she was happy enough with that. So I saved up the postage and actually made some profit in the end on it, thank God. But yeah, so that was my best in terms of I actually felt good to get rid of that and actually have made a profit on it. But yeah, definitely one of my worst ever pickups there. Lads, how about you? Best sale, mate?
I don't know whether the whole video's come out yet, but it might have done, might not. But I had a cassette tape storage thing that I've not got in literally a year or so, and it was one of the 72 ones. So it was like I think it's sort of made a chipboard, and then you have kind of these plastic like black shelves in it. And I got $29.99 plus my postage for that. So I checked before actually on my eBay and just went through to have a look at the value of sales, and that's like my highest value one. Although today I did get a multi-order for 2 different items that were 2 £20 items plus the postage. So that's kind of my highest value sale, but it's a multi-order, so I'm kind of not counting that.
And George,
I can show you if I can screen share.
let me focus the screen in on you. If I can.
Is me being a pain?
How do I can't even work out how do I get you the screen to just be on you?
In the lobby, can you see my screen share?
Oh yeah.
If you take me out.
Yeah, there you go.
There we go. Right, hang on a second. There we go.
Lovely.
Again, Dr. Martens. I was bang on about them. These weren't from my shoes, boots, man. These were from someone else. Brand new with tags. Oxblood leather. What size were they? Size 4, so slightly smaller, women's size. Took an offer, 135, but I did pay. What was it? I think it was £35. I've had to pay up again. But like I say, don't be afraid to pay up when it is quality and expensive. They paid for these today, so I haven't actually shipped them out yet, but that shouldn't be any problems. Apart from that, it's sort of bog standard sales for me this week.
Fair enough. How long ago did you buy them, George?
How long ago? Good question. Only about a month and a half ago. Not too long.
Yeah.
Been listed for about 3 or 4 weeks.
All right. Nice.
All right, excellent. Matt.
Best sale of the week. It's got to be the Lego Rally Van. Sold for, had it on for $99.99. Took an offer of $80. Paid £2 for it. No, £2.50. The car boot.
Nice. And Peter.
My best sale it wasn't on eBay, but it was on Spark. I sold Spyro Reignited Trilogy on PS4 for 18 quid. It was a copy I got last Christmas, but I already had the copy, so it was a present. So I thought it's like when you get something like that, you think. But anyway, I had the copy already, so I sold the other one, and it went for 18 quid. And then the person came round, obviously, and no fees and that, so not too bad.
Nice one. Okay. A few more questions popped up in the chat, so I'm just going to see if I can
Lovely.
fetch you up. Question from Tanan Heron. Are you held back by a limited amount of cash to spend on stock? Me personally, not really, but that's because I'm sourcing very cheap stuff anyway. So I don't need a huge pile of cash for sourcing, but I can appreciate it's quite easy to tie up all your money in stock, and then you've got to wait for it to sell before you can invest any more money. How about for you guys?
Yeah, I think for me, I do have a limited amount of cash that I can spend. Like I always work out beginning of the week what cash I've got, and then work out what I'm going to do this week. I sourcing, because I usually try and go charity shops twice a week, beginning and the end of the week, and then usually once every couple of weeks go to the boot sale. Also, I'm looking on Facebook and the rest of the other stuff. But yeah, it is a limit, but it's sort of not doing too bad with it. Realistically, I just put money aside for it. whatever I've got, I just stick money aside, that sort of thing. So yeah, it always works out in the end, but you've just got to build it from there.
Fair enough. How about we'll go for Derek next.
It's fairly limited, really, on the basis I'm saving for stuff at the moment. So money is fairly tight, but I also have the money there if I do need to. If something came along that was a really good opportunity, then I would spend some of that saving now on the hope that I'd reap the rewards, sales of that deal. But generally, at the moment, I do try to keep my costs down, which is one of the reasons why I stopped going to auctions. Although I went to one last week, bought a few things. So I'm starting to go back to those and probably spending a little more than I have done now. But yeah, I try to keep my costs down as low as possible at the moment.
It's easy to get tempted as well, isn't it? I sometimes put myself on a sourcing ban, not for financial reasons, but because I've just got too much stuff. And I quite often I still get tempted, and I end up going out and buying more stuff that then doesn't get listed for months because I'm still working through stuff from nearly a year ago.
You can't find it.
I've got so much stuff. I mean, I did a video probably about a year ago now. I think me and Richard sorted out a room in my house, and that's pretty much still untouched. There's some board games in there now as well that I'm listing for Q4, but but I do agree. I think George mentioned it. You've got to spend up when you see something worth getting. It's worth spending up on. You got to spend money to make money. So you've got to always have that in your mind. You don't want to be afraid and only take I don't know, £50 to the car boot sale. I always take quite a lot to the car boot sale just in case I see that item that's worth buying. I don't always spend it, but it's always worth taking it just in case.
Yeah. Do you ever find though, when you go around the boot sale, do you ever find that people, if you run out of cash or something, or do you ever find that they accept PayPal or on the boot sale?
I've never checked really. I very rarely run out of cash, but if I did, I'd probably go and get some and go back to the boot sale if it.
I've paid PayPal once this year. I don't know if you saw it in the video.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
I've seen stalls with the sign up about PayPal, but
all right.
I've never really thought about using it. But yeah, I have noticed it in the past. Not much, but a bit.
Yeah, mine. I just asked the question. I ran out of money and I really wanted it, so I just said, "Would you take PayPal?" Like I paid friends and family as well, so it doesn't come back on them or anything. Just done it there and then, and I walked off with the sign, which is still
fine. Yeah, lovely.
I suppose you could even do online banking as well, because that's pretty much instant as well, isn't it now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you, Ads? Do you ever find that the money for sourcing has dried up?
About a year or two ago, I was sitting on like a really nice cash wad, to be able to invest, and then I end up investing it in other things, in actual like other investments and stuff. And now I'm pretty limited on what I can spend each month. Whatever comes in, then I'll assess how much of it I want to spend, and then I'll just spend that basically. And that's kind of how it's been for the last 6 months, 12 months.
Matt?
No, I don't really have like a limit or anything like that, because I don't rely on it. I'm not a full-time reseller. No, I take quite a decent amount out with me. If I have a better week, then I'll take even more out with me, something like that. Because I did have one instance where I went to a boot before. Somebody had a load of vintage figures, and I just didn't have the money for it. And I had to walk away from it. It absolutely gutted me. So I always try and take a little bit more than I should really.
So there we go. Top tip, folks. If you're looking for someone to mug, find Matt when he's at a car boot. Definitely before his arms are full of stuff.
Mm.
Yeah, I've started now. Well, not started. I mean, I've always used I always use the money that's coming in to the business to spend on stock. I don't put anything more in. But what I used to do quite often was, I'd spend money out of my own bank account and then put it back in towards the end of the month.
Oh yeah.
So effectively I'd be using that month's sales to pay for stuff before before the sales had happened. Now things are a bit more tighter for me, so I'm not I'm just spending what's in the PayPal at the time, sort of thing. So I guess we're slightly limited in that regard, but I haven't come across anything that I've wanted to spend up on since we started doing that, to be honest. And now I'm just building up the PayPal funds so that I've got a nice bit of money in there ready to invest in anything that comes along. I'll just check any more questions in the chat, because I think we had one about who's had the most expensive return this month. Probably won't be me. I think my most expensive.
No, not a returns month. No,
I've had 17.
Yes.
That's it.
I had to refund £250. It was a £500 sale, and what it was 8 power rectifiers I sold. I sent them off. Cost me £30 to get them there, because I'd sent in 3 packages, because these things were about 7 kg each, maybe even heavier than that. It cost a fortune to post them, and 4 of them arrived broken. So the guy, I'm still unsure whether it's true or not, because the guy sells things like that himself, and he fixes things and stuff. So, but he said he could make 4 good ones out of the 8 sort of dodgy ones, because the ones that did physically work, some of them had broken things from the packaging, the shipping, because all these were sold as used, but I have no way of testing them. They came out from a BT warehouse I emptied about 2 years ago now, but I couldn't actually test them, but they were in working machines, so I sort of sold them on that basis. So anyway, so they opened a return, and basically I gave him half his money back. So yeah, it was £250. So
I suppose the good thing though is at least they want the full 500.
Yeah, well, it's mainly getting it back was the issue as well, because on the eBay case, eBay was saying to upload a label for £3.05p or something. But obviously that was for just the standard parcel, but this took 3 parcels, parcel force. So I would have had to send him separate labels, and it would have cost another £30 to get it back. So yeah, I was happy with that, because they basically cost me hardly anything in the end of the day, because I sold loads of stuff from that haul, so I'm well into profit anyway. So, but yeah, nonetheless.
Yeah, absolutely. How about you, Ads? Any expensive returns?
No, I very rarely get. Well, got touch wood. Oh my god, I'm gonna get loads now. The last time I said that, a few weeks ago, I ended up getting a return the next day. I said it on Thursday Talks, and I was like, oh god, I'm gonna get a return. But no, with antiques and collectibles, I rarely, with the lower end of stuff that I do, the 10, 20, 30 pound items, I rarely seem to get returns. Once every few months, something like that, maybe twice every few months. But yeah, it's really, really good for that. So I don't even think I've had well, I won't have had a return this month, but I think maybe the latter part of last month I may have had a return. But that wasn't an antique or collectible. That was a shirt, actually, that got returned because change of mind or something. I don't know. They probably ended up wearing it and then just blooming returning it on me.
Yeah, fair enough. Any expensive returns, George? I know you had an expensive chargeback case the other week.
Yeah, luckily I won that one. Yeah, I was just looking. Just where's it gone? A vintage typewriter, £40. So not too bad. But the space bar, they must have whacked it too hard or something, but it sort of snapped, like how it connects. So the space bar no longer worked. I'm going to try and fix that. But apart from that, and some trainers, I think they were size 9, advertised as size 9. They said they didn't fit, but return them as not as described. So I have to phone eBay tomorrow, try and get my money back for the return label.
Yeah, I hate it when they do that. I mean, this 17 quid return I've had, basically, I think I've sold it to somebody who's buying stuff to resell on Amazon, because the return reason they've given is that they've done it as not as described. Return reason they've put, though, in the message is the sales rank isn't as high as they thought it was. So I'm like, I'm gonna have to get onto eBay about that myself and say, I don't sell stuff based on sales ranks. Definitely not a reason to return something as not as described. So yeah, that was a bit mad. Matt, have you had any returns?
No. Well, I got lucky, I think, actually. I bought a pair of, probably going back like last month or the month before, a pair of shoes, the MBT shoes. Paid 10 quid in a charity shop for them. Sold them for, I think it was 60. They went through the GSP to Italy. Everything was fine. Then about a week later, after they arrived, I had a picture come through from the seller, which looked similar trainers, but it got like a rip down the one side. And he said he'd only been wearing them for 2 hours and they basically fell apart. So I contacted eBay, and eBay said because he's worn them and he's told you he's worn them for 2 hours, you know, it's gone in my favour basically, and it got closed. So he might have had another pair, and he might have tried to been pull a fast one. The shoes may have fell apart, but they were like pristine condition when I had them.
I should have done that with the trainers. I had returned a few months ago because somebody had worn them, took them on a night out, and then they'd fell apart.
Mm-hmm.
I should have maybe thought that one, but never mind. You live and learn.
Mm-hmm.
I think we'll do just one more question, and then we'll call it a night because it's been over an hour now. I'm just trying to find the question from Will You Take Less, which is one thing you would tell yourself about reselling if you could go back to the start of your reselling, of your selling on eBay. For me, it would definitely be around sorting out storage and inventory from day one. Having an inventory system in place and storage to store stock, because I've lost so much time looking for orders that if I'd had a decent inventory and storage system in place, I would have saved and could have spent listing stuff. So that's definitely something. And now, you know, putting it in place now is taking me a lot longer to do than it would have done if I'd done it from the start. So that's definitely one thing. But I never saw my eBay growing as it would either. You know, I thought I'd be 100, 200 listings max. So that's definitely something that I would change, and I'm changing now. We'll do it in the order of the screen. I'll keep the question on the screen for a bit. Derek.
Yeah, I think it will be along the lines of telling myself not to buy massive job lots at auctions just to get one item out of the lot. I think I've mentioned it before. I used to buy, you know, like 5 or 6 big boxes of household goods just to get 1 or 2 items that were in the lot. and it left me with a load of rubbish items that really aren't worth putting on eBay, but now I've got and I'm storing them, and they're basically on my pile of shame. I'm getting through them gradually, but it would probably be not to do that. And basically the approach I'm taking now is to only buy the items that I actually want and not end up with all this, rubbish stock, because it just uses up space in my storage, which is quite limited, that I could use it with other stuff, and it end up wasting time just to sell it.
You ever thought about just taking it all down to the car boot and trying to flog it there, or?
Yeah, I probably should really, but then I'd have to sort it all out, and
Yeah, I've got the same. I did the same, not off auction. I used to buy job lots off Facebook, and it would only be exactly the same. It would only be for 1 or 2 items, and I'd sell those. I'd double or triple my money, but then I'd have loads of crap, which I've still got in my shipping container, that it's not worth the time or effort to list on eBay, because I'll have to photograph it. It's not media. It won't be quick to list.
Yeah, I mean, I have thought about doing boot sales and not even putting it in the auction again, which is probably the better idea, I guess, because then it will definitely go.
Yeah.
But my problem is, if I did take it to a boot sale, I'd end up bringing it with the stuff that doesn't sell. I wouldn't be able to take it to the tip and dump it. I'd end up bringing it home, and I'd store the rest of the stuff if I only sold some of it. So I don't know what to do.
My plan is I've got the same issue, but I've got to sort through the boxes and pick out what I want to take. But once I've done that, anything that I don't sell at the boot, charity shop that I got a good relationship with is open on a Sunday. I'll go straight there after the boot and just give it all to them.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I mean, I have got rid of some of it, but, basically taking it to charity shops and stuff, but there's just so much of it, so.
Yeah. How about you, Ads? Anything you would change if you could go back and start reselling again?
I would say much the same as you. My storage is just a mess, and I really needed to, about 3 years ago, actually do like an alphanumerical system, because it's just sometimes every now and then I won't find an item, and every now and then I'll be looking for an item for quite a while, and with like 1,500 items almost, I just really need a storage system, and I've just not got one. Other than obviously just segmenting things out by sort of what they are. So I have things segmented into like video games, and then ceramics in terms of ceramic plates, and then ceramic teapots, and then metalware and stuff like that. But other than that, I don't actually have a numerical system that would really, really help me. So that's probably one thing I'd tell myself if I went back in time.
I've just put an alphanumeric system in place for my computer games, because I was just, I charge high prices anyway, because I always go for best match rather than compete on price. I just go for the best listing. But quite a few times where I've had to buy something from a cheaper seller and ship it out, and I'm just like, I sell the game again. So quite often it does work to my advantage, because I make a little bit of profit, 50p or £1 on something, and then another 2 or 3 quid by selling my own copy that I've later found. But it's just a pain, because you still spend that time looking for it. So I spent about 4 hours yesterday sorting it all, and I've still got another about 300 or 400 to go through. But it's going to save me time in the long term. George, we'll go to George next.
The one I was going to say actually popped up on the screen from, who is it? Uniquely Me.
Beautiful Tracy.
Yeah, so about going and doing bookkeeping properly. When I first started, it was like Excel spreadsheet, just like item per item, what I bought it for, where from, the date, how much, then fees. It was a nightmare. But now I use QuickBooks self-employed app on my phone. It's brilliant. If you don't use it, I highly recommend it. It's only like, I think it's £4 a month for the first year, and it just stores everything like on the app, and it works out what you need to be saving for tax, does your mileage automatically. Yeah, it's brilliant. So that would be one. And then the other one, I did have another one and I forgot. But yeah, that was the main one, just about easier bookkeeping.
Yeah. Our second QuickBooks, I used to be an affiliate for QuickBooks. I used to get commission for selling them on, but they stopped their program, unfortunately. But I still recommend it regardless to anyone. It's just about saving time as well.
Yeah.
You know, I'll go into QuickBooks, I tag any transactions that have come in that week. I don't even do it daily. Put a few notes against my mileage to say whether it was private or business and what it was for. Takes a matter of minutes, and then it's all nicely tied together at the end of the tax year for me as well when it comes to self-assessment time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Because I used to be the same. I used to do spreadsheets just like yourself, George, and it was just you soon quickly just get sick of it.
Yeah.
Okay, Matt.
If I could go back and tell myself something, it would be probably list it as soon as you get it, because at the start I had this impression that I've got to keep loads of things, that's a good pile I've got there, let's add more to it, and then try and list it all on eBay, and then I got in a right mess with it. And the other thing is I didn't check sold listings at the start, and I think I undersold a lot of stuff, and then there was a lot of stuff that didn't sell because I just priced it too high.
I had I was selling on eBay for about a month before I even knew you could check sold listings. I was just going off listed prices or making up prices if I couldn't find a listing. So yeah, I like a whole month as a reseller. I did all right, to be fair. I wasn't that far off the mark with most stuff, but I probably had the same where I undersold some stuff.
When I very first started, like before I was even part-time, just sort of having a look into it, I just looked on auctions, what auctions sold for. So I thought people didn't buy on eBay, like buy it now prices. So like, say a game that goes for like £4 as an auction is actually a £20 game, buy it now. I just thought that wasn't a thing. I thought eBay was just auctions. But then that's when I like introduced onto the YouTube scene, and I learned that people do actually buy it now prices, and that just changed everything.
Yeah, I used to do auctions when I was selling cars, and I never touch auctions now.
I don't.
Peter, last but not least.
Yep. For me, it'll probably have to be the postage costs, because that's the one thing when I first started, it was sort of like not so much alien to me, but it was like just trying to work out the best postage to do, like, i.e. weighing your item, knowing what sort of, if it's got to go in a box, what sort of weight the box is and the height and that. Because I never used to do when I first started, never used to do parcel to go or check postage cost. I just used to just slap a postage cost on, and that was it. But then I kind of quickly realised that obviously you can do parcel to go. You have to measure things, weigh stuff, this, that, and the other. So I'll probably like sort of slap myself for it, because I probably lost out on a little bit, but it's that sort of thing. It's always a learning curve for me, especially with the postage. But it's like on anything you do, you sort of like learn anyway. But for me, if I could go back in time, I'll say get off your ass, check what it weighs, check the height of the box, check this, check that, do parcel to go, check this, do that. But back then I was probably a little bit lazier not to do it, but it is what it is. But yeah. Oh dear.
Definitely a top tip there. Mentalist point for you, Peter.
Thank you.
Right, so I think we'll wrap it up. We'll do our usual wrap up. We'll go around each person in turn. thank you for joining and talk about what future videos you've got coming out. So start off with Derek.
I don't think I have any videos to come out. I don't have anything planned at the moment, but no doubt there'll be something in the next few weeks, but nothing planned.
No worries, we'll look forward to it. Ads, thank you for joining us.
The next maybe 5 or 6 days, I've got 4 car boot videos coming out, 2 vlog style videos that are like going around the car boot hunting for stuff, and then 2 haul videos to go along with them.
Bloody hell.
So yeah.
Ads. Yeah.
Ads is prolific.
Indeed.
I like this username here. Sorry, someone liked your comment.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
That's great. That. George, I think we mentioned earlier your next video.
Well, before I do that, is everyone here going to Hitchin? Ads, you're not, are you? Or
I'm not.
I'm in
what's your
Hitchin.
excuse?
Yeah, I'm fine, yeah, I'll be there.
What's
Yeah,
your
I'm
excuse, Ads? Why are you not going? Come on.
I don't know. I've thought about it, and then I've kind of gone off it, and then I've thought about it again and gone off it. I've deliberated too much, basically, and then I thought to myself, oh, I don't know about going down to London and all the rest of it. So,
Well,
yeah, I mean, if there's one close to home, I'll do it. But at the moment, I've not kind of found one that's fairly close, like around my local area. Well, not like around my local area, but like an hour away or something. Like 3-4 hour trip. It's like, oh, I want to
excuses.
do it.
Yeah. I actually went to a charity shop today and got myself a Christmas jumper. If you can,
I saw that.
Yes, I saw your picture of it. It looked very festive.
yeah, for £1. I wear it to meet up.
Right, tomorrow.
Why not? It was just cool. It was kind of cool. Wear it. I thought, yep, fits. Why not?
My Christmas jumper is a size too small, but I'm going to slim down.
YouTube.
But as for videos, I've been a bit slack with that, trying to catch up since the girls have been back to school. I've got 2 to edit about selling at the boot sale still, and then the day after I went back to the boot sale with them profits. So I'll try and do it for the weekend, and then should be going live tomorrow about announcing the raffle for these and then the bolos. So yeah, stay tuned tomorrow night, and that's about it from me. And jumping out of a plane. There you go.
Which we all look forward to.
Indeed, yep.
Matt, the other retro reselling.
The original.
I'm not going to be going to a car boot this weekend, but I'm going to the NEC Toy Fair. So if I can get enough footage, I'm going to try and do a video on that. So you can
Nice.
see what it's all about.
Awesome. And Peter, this is your chance to promote.
Videos to come tomorrow. I'm editing a preview video for a trip I went to about 4 weeks ago now. I went there's an area near me called Epsom Common / it's part of like Epsom Common and Ashstead Common. So I went around there checking the area out as I do. Got a preview video for that. Then Saturday I should be able to do a charity shop haul, a pre-edited charity shop haul, which I'll premiere, and then I'll for the stuff I got today, and then after that it's just live videos and usuals, and yeah, stay tuned.
Excellent. I'll update the description, post this with everyone's channel links for anyone wants to subscribe, and I will drop in a link to George's skydive fundraising as well.
Thank you.
Thanks everyone for joining us, both on the chat and on the YouTube live. And we'll see you all soon, folks. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, see you later.